Hi, everyone. We have Ben Ulancey here with us today. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves before we start. I mean, you guys know us, but let's go ahead.
Yeah, there might be new people in. I just joined the chat and I saw Wendy Russell, I know, but I don't know about the other 10 people. But hi, I'm Brandon Elrich, and I don't. Should we go ahead and talk about our publication first? I don't remember how we usually
We'll
do
do that
this.
at the end. We'll do that at the
Oh
end.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well that's me,
I'm
and then the
I'm
other
starting to
two.
write it down right here.
Yeah, on the computer I'm in the middle, but on my phone I'm on the bottom.
That's your preferred position, right? That's what we were
Yeah,
saying.
pretty well. Yeah, overall.
and then we got Ben Ulancey with us here today. Say hi to everyone, Ben.
Hello, everybody. Nice to finally pop on the Tuesday with Two Gay show.
And another straight. This is the second straight show we've had. Second
I
straight
guess
show we've
second
had.
straight show. Yeah.
Second straight show. Today we're going to talk about a lot of different things, but we usually start with a little chat, and then we get into our news stories, and then we talk about our week, and then we also read some stories from our our feed and stuff. And Ben, you're welcome to read something if you'd like, if you have something to bring to us. And yeah, and then we have our debate later, and that's going to be an exciting one. It's going to be a very spirited debate today. And I have some really, really, really spicy mailbag questions I received this week, so we'll read those near the end. All right, well, let's talk about our
Mail
week.
bags.
Let's talk about our week really quick. All three of us can get in on this segment here. So, let's start with Ben since he's our guest, and I always like letting the guest go first. And if you've seen the segment, we jokingly um narrate what we just heard. I mean, not narrate, but
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
summarize
Summarize.
it.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm just returning from this music festival that I spent the past weekend at, camping and catching up with a bunch of good friends. And right now, I'm currently in my sleep deprived recovery state a little bit, and yeah, it's always I try to go to that festival every year, and a cool fun fact about me that not a lot of people know is that my parents met at this specific music festival, and I try my best to make an appearance there every year if I can, and it's really become such a wonderful thing to look forward to each year. It's kind of hard to describe for people who've never been to a music festival and experienced that kind of environment, but really is something special about it.
That's really cool.
All right.
So
um,
are we are you summarizing? You want me to
well, you can
summarize
go first.
first?
You can go first.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you went to a festival and pitched a tent with some friends and uh went to the place where you were likely conceived.
Yeah.
He kind of he kind of stole my thunder there. I was about to say something similar. Let me just go ahead and
Oh,
add something here. So, you were trying to conceive, or you were trying to do things that were the same activities at that festival that also got you conceived. Yeah, there we go.
I'll I'll
possibly.
give I'll give you guys some more narrative ammunition to work with and tell you that there was also a mushroom trip involved.
Mm,
Ooh, I like
yeah,
mushrooms.
definitely.
I like mushrooms.
You're trying to complete the circle of life, I think.
Yes, yes.
He's like he was tripping so much on mushrooms. He was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter if it was a woman or a man." I'm kidding. That was bad. Okay, Brandon, go ahead. We're gonna rip you now.
Oh great. I didn't think about this. Completely forgot about thinking about what I did the past week. Actually, it's been 2 weeks because we weren't.
We didn't go last week because I was on a really weird sleep schedule last week.
Oh, I've watched some new movies and shows, but I was on with Ben and Peter a couple weeks ago to talk about the finale of House of the Dragon and season 3. And today's Tuesday. Sunday, I went with a friend of mine to a small water park, and I'd never been there before, and I haven't been to a water park in a long time, actually. And so that was fun. There were a couple of like the tube slides. One of them was closed for maintenance, but I went on the other one, and it was like completely enclosed. So it was you soaring down there in the dark, and you don't know which way it's going to turn. So it was kind of jarring, and I hadn't been on a water slide in a long time, so that was pretty fun. They had a wave pool and a lazy river, so I had fun there.
Okay.
Other than that, I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah.
Ben, so what do you have?
So my job now is to narrate what Brandon did with his weekend.
Summarize. Yeah.
Just summarize it however you want. You can do it an actual summary, or you can kind of take liberties.
No, Ben is so creative. I want to hear this. I already know where he might go with this.
Well, no.
Oh, don't hype me up too much. Spontaneity has never really been my strong suit. I'm trying.
Oh, you can let Sturge go first.
I'm trying to think a little too far outside of the box right now. And yeah, let me see what you got, Sturge.
Okay. Well, from what I gathered, you've been deprived of water sports for a long time, so you went ahead and rode the tube slide and got a little too wet. That's what I got.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I did see some hotties there.
Oh man, is this a new feature to the show? Because if this has happened in prior episodes, we
did it with
missed
Walter.
This part.
Yeah, we did it with Walter.
Well, we usually do it at the beginning, and sometimes you come in like halfway or
halfway or near the end. Yeah,
but no pressure if you don't want to participate. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm feeling like this is going to be a little bit too restrained in the clever department to be
okay,
worth sharing.
That's fine.
But I'll try to make up for it with my wonderful wit in the moments to come.
Yeah. Although
actually, I don't think we did. I don't think we had Walter do the summary.
Yeah, we did.
Did we? I don't remember what he said.
He got in there and made some pretty funny comments. Anyway, we'll move on. I'm gonna go ahead and tell my story now. So yesterday, after 87 days since I broke my ankle, I actually started walking a little bit without the crutches. Barely though. I had to hold onto the wall still, but I made it all the way from the cab of the RV back to the bench, which was behind. So it's like 25 feet walking without my crutches, which is the longest I've walked without them in 3 months. And I would say that's a huge victory. But that was a highlight of my whole 2 weeks, was being able to walk a little bit better after not walking at all without crutches. So let's go ahead. Go ahead, rip me one, Brandon.
Oh gosh. Well, that was pretty short. There's not much to work with there. But
I mean, I gave you enough.
It sounds like you wanted to walk again, and walking is good. And I'm glad that you are walking again with your.
It sounds like the team got a victory only because you were benched.
Oh, Brandon, I like that one. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. All right. Well, I'm gonna read this news story I found here recently. It's on outsports.com. It's about a gay track star who just came out after homophobic abuse. He gets support from his country's president. This guy's name is Mitja Zubin, and he publicly came out as gay while competing at the European Track and Field Championships. He's a Slovenian hurdler. He was making his debut at the European Athletics Championships last week, having recently recorded a personal best time in the 400-meter hurdles. The 20-year-old Slovenian was excited to step onto the biggest stages in the sport. He was not expecting to become the focus of a national conversation about homophobia and online hate, which led to him coming out publicly as gay and earning the support of his president. He's still coming to terms with the remarkable turn of events that happened in the UK, but he has no regrets. Honestly, I'm doing great. Unfortunately, I've been used to this kind of environment since childhood. I know it shouldn't be considered normal, but it's the reality I grew up with. Zubin was, however, surprised to learn that he was the only out gay athlete competing in the men's category in the biennial meet, which brings together the best in track and field from across the continent. I had no idea, he said, adding that the news came as a source of pride. Representation matters deeply because everyone should feel safe, welcome, and valued for their athletic abilities. At the start of July, he ran the 400-meter hurdles in 49.85 seconds. That's impressive. The first time he has gone under the 50-second mark. Although he didn't replicate that performance in Birmingham, the UK, he spoke with enthusiasm afterwards in an interview with the Slovenian Athletics Federation, who posted the video on social media. However, the comment section quickly turned toxic, full of gay slurs and barbs about his appearance. Courageously, he took a stand. He shared a screenshot of the abusive comments in his Instagram, calling out the abuse directly, and then said, just a small sample of the online toxicity that goes on behind the scenes. I didn't realize how much hatred there was at home. It's disappointing to see things like this. His post sparked an extraordinary chain of public support that reached the highest levels of government in his homeland. The Federation released a statement saying comments directed at personal characteristics and insinuations about the sexual orientation of individuals are offensive and unacceptable. Shortly after, the president of Slovenia, Nataša Pirc-Musar, voiced her support publicly. She posted about the dangerous effects of discrimination in society. She addressed the young hurdler directly, offering words of encouragement and emphasizing the nation's core values. Nietzsche Zubin, I want you to know that the support of the vast majority of people continues to follow you, louder than those who insult and humiliate. There is no place for homophobia, hate speech, and discrimination in sports in our society. In correspondence with Slovenian media, Zubin said he welcomed the president's intervention. He also spoke about being gay. I came out so that maybe someone who comes after me, someone younger, won't be ashamed. Outsports reached out to Zubin to congratulate him on his handling of the events in an intense last few days. This was actually the first time I've spoken publicly about my sexual orientation. I never felt the need to broadcast it to the world. In my personal life, most people close to me already knew I was gay. I came out to my mom, my younger brother, and my close friends when I was 16. Not everybody in my extended family knew this until recently, but I'm completely fine with that. Out of 1,645 athletes in the European Athletics Championships, there were only 4 who were publicly out as LGBTQ. All of them were women. In men's track, the British hurdler Seamus Derbyshire was also on the entry list for the 4x400 meter relay, but ultimately did not race. Zubin is proud to have provided much needed representation. My biggest motivation for speaking up is the younger generation. Growing up having a visible role model can make all the difference. And I want younger athletes or anyone struggling to accept who they are to know that they aren't alone and they have support and that someone is in their corner. I want them to see that you can be your authentic self and still perform at the highest level. Zubin feels his experience and the president's response says a lot about modern-day Slovenia, a nation of just over 2 million people where LGBTQ rights have improved rapidly in recent years, but where social attitudes are still catching up. The country ranks 40th on the Equality Index and 17th on the ILGA Rainbow Europe map, making it one of the most progressive in Central Europe. This country won its independence in 1991, and 4 years ago it became the first post-communist country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage and full adoption rights for same-sex couples. In 2023, a public opinion survey highlighted a disparity, though. 58% of Slovenes said that they agreed that there is nothing wrong with gay relationships, while only 42% agreed that lesbian, gay, and bisexual people should have the same rights as heterosexual people. The European Union average for the latter statistic is 69%. Nice. That was just me saying nice to 69.
I was pretty sure that was actually in the article.
That's funny.
It
That
seemed
would've-
very in keeping with the tone.
it did.
Just that little nice in there.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
In
Yeah.
parentheses.
So
This
professional.
article goes on for a little bit more, but at the end it says it shows younger generations that who you are should never hold you back from what you can achieve on the track. Yes, exactly. Let's talk about this. So, Ben, do you have any thoughts?
It's kind of fun participating in the chat because I get to come up with things that are completely vulgar and inappropriate. And
Yeah.
I feel like with my physical persona, it's less appropriate to do that. And I don't want people to think that I actually have homophobic opinions.
No, you're from what I've
Sometimes-
gathered, just the complete opposite. But go ahead.
I think that representation is important. I don't have extremely interesting thoughts. It was a bit to digest there. How about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I looked at while Sturge was talking about Slovenia. I was curious to know like what the laws were there and everything. And I saw, well, you already said, I think in the article it mentioned that in 2022 they legalized gay marriage, which was good, of course. And I think it said in 1977 or something like that, because it used to be, well, in a lot of places it was same sex activities were illegal. And I think it said in 1977, somewhere around there, that it was decriminalized.
Yeah,
But
and that's impressive too to think it was that far back, especially given the fact that a lot of Central and Eastern Europe were behind the influence of the Soviet Union or the USSR at the time. And we all know that the USSR has always been kind of anti LGBTQ. But it's interesting
Yeah.
because a lot of countries in that region still, including like countries like Serbia, are still very anti LGBTQ. I don't know how fast they're catching up, but I know in this article they were talking about Slovenian. A majority of Slovenians still think they shouldn't have equal rights, and that kind of hit me. I was like, oh well, with the adoption thing, I guess that's the bigger problem they have. It's like a majority of them agree that gay marriage is legal, or that should be legal, but it's like, but they don't agree that they should be able to adopt and have the same rights as straight couples. Which I think that was the biggest thing that popped up in my head when I was reading that. But the president, who's a woman, which is great. I wish we had that here. Um, uh, she was very supportive. She's like, yeah, this is where our society is now. We need to meet. We need to support and meet people where they are and not, oppress them. Whatever. Go ahead, Ben. What else did you want to say about it?
Did you say Ben or Brandon?
Ben.
I totally agree with your take. So many of those countries are completely draconian in the way that they view LGBTQ relations. So whatever progress that we can see in our lifetimes, I'm encouraged by. Even in the US, even though it feels like we're in a period of regression, I still do ultimately feel as though we're on a global arc toward progress with lots of hiccups along the way.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I sometimes people in our country might complain or say that it's kind of bad for the queer community, but if you look at other places, it could be worse, And I think sometimes a lot of us forget that.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. I mean, as much as they're trying to backslide us, I think, like Ben said, like we're moving forward. The whole world is moving forward, and we're finding a way to get past all this, despite all the major, well, especially the biggest hurdles I see are from the ultra rich, and I mean, like the Elons of the world, the Mark Zuckerbergs. They're trying to take control of all of the the money and the power and make us into slaves. So you know, you know. What did Alexis Zeitz have said? It was LGBTQ film about. Oh, there's a Cuban poet. I don't remember. Oh, Before Night Falls. I remember that.
I don't know that
Have
one.
you seen that, Ben?
No.
That might be a to watch a movie to put on a to watch list. That's interesting.
Have you managed to get out to theaters much this year? I've been so excited by the state of entertainment in 2026.
Let's talk about this for a little bit. Yeah, sure. I haven't been to the theaters, but I'm one movie I'm excited to watch when I get a chance to is the new Spider-Man movie.
Have you heard about Coyote versus Acme?
That sounds fun. What is that?
The premise behind it is great. It's Wile E. Coyote, after all of his products backfire on him, the TNT and whatnot, decides to sue Acme, and it's a live action animation combination, kind of like the Sonic movies, and the ad for it looked just incredible. I didn't know how I felt about it when I just heard about it in passing, but yeah, the ad really sells it. John Cena's in it. Will Shroot. Looks a lot of fun.
I got to check
That's
this out. Yeah.
that's real.
Yeah, it's apparently coming out in a few days. Actually, I think.
Oh wow! I thought when you first started talking about it, I was like, is this something he's making up?
It sounds fake. It does sound.
Yeah.
No, it's real. I'm looking at it right here. August 28th is when it goes to wide release. So next Friday. And it looks like it already released at San Diego Comic-Con back in July 25th. That's when they first, I guess, like a pre-screening.
It's also an interesting story behind it because it was a movie that was like fully completed back in 2023, and they just Disney just never released it because they wanted to use it as a tax write-off instead, but not spend any of the money that it would take to advertise it.
That's weird.
So the movie has just been sitting in the void for 3 years until Catch Up Entertainment purchased the rights to it, and now they're giving it a years overdue theatrical release.
I can't. That's actually a movie now that you've mentioned it, I would want to see.
Yeah,
That sounds fun.
I really want to see this Chris Hansen one coming out. The continuation of The Social Network, I'm also extremely excited by because
yeah, I heard.
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, they're doing a Social Network too. I think it has a more clever name than that, but
is Jesse Eisenberg in this one too?
He's not, because he's so tired of being associated with Mark Zuckerberg. But the person that they
I don't blame him
to take up his mantle, I think, is perfect. He's the lead from Succession. Also, extremely hateable guy. What's his name? Have you guys seen Succession?
I've seen I have Succession.
I haven't watched it.
I can't remember his name though, but I know who you're talking about.
You're not talking about the younger, like what's his?
I think he's talking about Kieran
Culkin.
Is it Kieran Culkin?
No, not him. I want to say
Nicholas Braun.
The name Nathan Fillion is coming to mind, but I also feel like that's dead wrong. I think I might just be dead wrong. That
Jeremy Strong.
Yeah, no. Jeremy Strong is that's Jeremy Allen White. I'm totally blanking on the name. He's
I'll tell you. In a second.
He plays one of the sons of the patriarch figure in Succession. I really didn't enjoy that show.
It is Jeremy Strong.
It is Jeremy Strong? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I conflated him with Jeremy Allen White for a second.
And Jeremy Allen White's in it too.
Okay. Yeah.
He plays Jeff Horowitz.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting. And Bill Burr's gonna be in this one.
Yeah, I'm really excited by that. I think the first Social Network movie is a masterpiece. One of the best movies ever made in my eyes.
You ready, Grandma guest Andy Samberg?
The Social
Andy Samberg as Mark Zuckerberg. I think he would just he would make that character so funny. Like, I swear I would be laughing out loud the whole time.
It looks like it's The Social Reckoning is the name of it.
Social Reckoning. That's it. Yep.
Yeah. That's interesting. I liked the first one.
Yeah. The first one was really good. I remember seeing that. I actually saw that one in theaters back
I
when I
think
was
that
still going to movie theaters.
on one hand, when I first heard about this, my gut instinct was, oh, you don't make a sequel to a movie like that. But on second thought, there really is just so much more of that story to tell. So I think I'm extremely excited to see what he does with that.
So I wonder if this isn't one like, well, obviously the first one kind of paints Mark Zuckerberg as the bad guy,
Well, he is the
taking the
bad guy.
idea and all that. But I wonder if like this one.
He is the bad guy.
Well, I know, but I mean that's the movies. You in Hollywood you can do whatever you want. They could have painted him as like he didn't do anything wrong and it was his idea and all that. But I'm wondering if the second one kind
He's
of
actually
pulls
he's actually
back
a
on that.
he's actually a vigilante hero crime fighter, kind of akin to Batman.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to see it then.
He's booftastic. Yeah. Um, that's gonna get clipped. Ben, so would you like to read one of your stories?
Maybe an excerpt of one wouldn't be
Yeah.
pushing it too hard, too
An
far.
excerpt would be fine. Yeah.
Um,
And then
alright.
we could have a short chat about it after, and then Brandon, then I'll read. Yeah. Let's go.
All right, let me go grab my computer real quick and find a good candidate. 1 second.
All right.
Well, one of us could start with one of ours while he's pulling his up.
I mean, sure, we could just talk for a little bit. I don't know. I mean, because then we'd want him to hear us reading our stuff too, right?
Oh, I guess, yeah.
He's coming back. I knew that wasn't going to take that long.
Then he's got to decide which one he wants and what part of it
he knows
to
which one he
read.
wants. Watch.
Do I know which one I want? I don't know if I know which one I want. I in general, in general, I kind of have a resistance to reading my own articles aloud. I think I've gotten a little bit better at it over time, but there was a period on Substack where I was really trying to do voiceovers for all of my articles, and the GarageBand editing of it was just wasn't that fun for me.
I have an idea for which one you can read an excerpt from. You just talked about it earlier in your share. I think you should read an excerpt from the pin story about you being a fest baby.
Okay. Let's see.
YRG said just read mine. You Ready Grandma is hilarious. That satire is on point. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Do you want me to start?
No, yeah. Go ahead.
Predating Woodstock and the career of Jimi Hendrix, the Philadelphia Folk Festival is the oldest music festival in the entire country. With origins more ancient than even the first whispers of the Flower Power movement, the event's enduring tenure within the rural hills of Pennsylvania is a testament to the appeal of the lovably eccentric oddities that define the nearly week-long spectacle. While its name may suggest otherwise, it isn't the folk music that most attendees will claim as the biggest draw. Of course, folk music can be found, and in copious quantities. But as time has gone on, demographics have changed, and traditional music has fallen out of favor with younger crowds. Now, few genres of music can't be found emerging from some disparate corner of the campground, whether from a portable speaker or an obscure instrument that only a handful of people on this hemisphere have heard of. Another issue, I think, with my writing is that I tend to be so alliterative that it's difficult to recite out loud, and I do have to find myself repeating sentences over and over when I try to record these. So
I like your
probably a little
wordplay.
bit.
Yeah, I like
evident.
your wordplay. You have a
Thank
you have a very creative way of expressing things, and that's a talent.
One of the most emblematic aspects of the event is just how little of its allure hinges on the musical lineups each year. It has hosted its share of greats, and most year's guest lists will feature at least one or two names that listeners will most likely recognize. But among the elements that distinguish this musical extravaganza the most are its persevering sense of community and the sheer number of attendees who owe their very lives to the festival's annual occurrence. Groups of 30 plus people have been establishing makeshift living rooms within the same made-up plots of land for entire decades. They carry in couches, carpets, and every breed of miscellany one could imagine. Some have married and have children fit enough to help plug in equipment and accoutrement, and others have children old enough to be raising children of their own. Adorning the front of each site, like signs on storefronts, are the creative monikers that represent the communities housed within. Some signs are styled from luminary letters. Others emblems are painstakingly etched into wood before being embroidered, bedazzled, and painted with a level of care and craftsmanship reserved for only the most diligent of artisans. Other tents sport flags and banners that have lingered through whole generations. Some have the names written on the displays. Some of the names written on the displays are of dubious origins, and others may be forever lost to the psychedelic sands of time. Some are the aliases of the drunken byproducts of nearly forgotten nights, and others spawned from the duly deliberated democratic processes of boards full of hippies hashing it out around campfires with note cards and the ticks and tallies of colored pencils. I'll end there.
All right, awesome.
It sounds like a really cool experience. Like,
I would love to
especially
go
when
to
you're
that
talking
festival.
about like the couches and stuff that they try. I'm like, I'll put setting up a whole like a living room in front of the stage. That's like
If I'm
awesome.
allowed to, I might want to go next year while you're there. Just be like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah,
And
it's unbelievable
you can
that
trek
most of the
across the
year it
state.
really is just an empty field, and then yeah, like you said, people build entire living rooms, carry couches. The amount of things that people drag in there each year is just absurd. Sometimes I saw one couple that had a fucking like huge flat screen TV in their campsite, which is kind of counterintuitive to the
Yeah,
festival
that's what I was
experience,
kind of thinking. Like,
but
well, it's kind of like the people that hold up their phone, record the concerts and stuff on their
yeah,
phones
exactly.
instead of actually experience. Yeah.
Yep, same kind of energy there. Like I can imagine on one of the rainy days that it might have been fun to break out, but yeah, I would never bring a TV to a festival like that.
No, I wouldn't either. Go ahead, Brandon. You are up, and you have a kitty in front of you. So
I do. He's trying to vie for my attention. All right. So I'll read the one that I published yesterday, I guess. Oh, could we didn't do a thing last week. What did I publish last week?
you can read whatever
Bucky.
you want. I'm about to read one from like a year ago.
Bucky and yeah. I'll do the one I did yesterday. So this one's about a couple weeks ago. I think it was a couple weeks ago. Sturge and I talked about oversharing or sharing online or oversharing or whatever.
Mhm.
And it was kind of funny because, well, I'll go ahead and read it. It's called I Didn't Ask, But Here We Are. Diarrhea of the Mouth. Have you ever met an oversharer? In an episode 2 weeks ago, Sturge and I debated the topic of sharing personal details online. He took the side of talking about one's personal life online that can help you vent and work through issues, and it can help others who might relate. I took the side that sharing too many personal details can be a safety and security risk. It was kind of funny that Sturge chose that topic to debate because I had already started a draft of this article about oversharing. My friend and I were seated at a small pizza establishment not far from where I live. It was evident early on that our server was an oversharer. I can't convey all of the details of the conversation we had with her because that would be almost impossible without using a recorder or a nearby stenographer, but I'll relate what I recall. I apologize, I don't remember the context, if indeed there was any, of this part of the conversation, but our server said, "I'm bald. It's a fashion choice. Just kidding. I have a medical condition." Okay. Did she expect us to ask for more detail? Was she expecting a laugh? There was no LOL after her statement, just a matter-of-fact blurb about herself. Perhaps she was self-conscious about how her hair looked. The bangs were an option I wouldn't have chosen, but I also wouldn't have suspected a wig. She asked what we'd been up to or whatever, We told her we had just gotten back from a trip to Oklahoma. I'm originally from Oklahoma, she exclaimed. What are the odds? My friend, who would probably also be classified as an oversharer, thought I'd never. She'd probably also be classified as an oversharer, though I'd never tell her so. She described our glamping experience, including the tent we stayed in and the fact that it was erected on a wooden deck just above the ground. My boyfriend and I went camping, she said. I wish our tent was on a deck because it flooded while we were there. He was lying on top of me and I almost drowned. I had follow-up questions to this, including why was he sleeping on top of you? Or were you having sex in the middle of the flood? Was he maybe trying to kill you? I didn't ask him any of these follow-up questions because she would definitely tell us the answers. I already knew too much information about this stranger's life, none of which included her name. It didn't stop there. My friend mentioned her disdain for the outhouse type of toilet we had to use during our stay at the campground. And wouldn't you know it, the server had an experience related to that as well. I accidentally dropped my birth control in the porta potty, she admitted, so they had to rush to a CVS or somewhere for a replacement. I had follow-up questions at this juncture as well, but I certainly didn't want to know the answers to those. The manager appeared, evidently searching for her wayward, wordy waitress. I was hopeful for a reprieve as I attempted telepathically to plead to the manager for an escape. Our server turned her head, noticing the manager, and said, "Hi, I'm talking to these customers. They're pretty interesting, in my opinion." An odd declaration, given the limited information we proffered. "Yeah, we're pretty awesome," my friend said facetiously. Whether or not my mind messages reached her supervisor or was simply that chit-chat about birth control falling into a porta potty was discouraged in this establishment, the manager called Chatty Cathy away. She appeared frequently after that until we were ready to leave. We had leftover pizza and asked for a box. She said she'd have to give us a few small boxes, because if she gave us a large one, she'd get in trouble. "I'm already on thin ice," she said. I wonder why. If you're an oversharer, please don't let this article stop you. Oh, that's kind of where I go into my share this article and all my call to action buttons.
Nice. That's a nice segue.
Yeah. Have you guys ever known an overshare, like a stranger who was an overshare? Somebody you just met, just like they just want to tell you their life story.
Yeah.
The first example that comes to me, not of a stranger as much, but my college roommate was a huge oversharer to the point where I'm just like, please shut up and let me have friends.
Yeah, exactly.
How about you, Serge?
Honestly, I overshare sometimes, but I've become a lot less like I share a lot less these days, even though like sometimes I mean I kind of dive forward a little too fast, I think, with some people. If I really, take a quick liking to them. But I've had many people in the past do that to me first. So like they just start like this girl I met on the bus one time when we were coming home from school, she just started talking to me about her whole life, and I was like, wow, I was overwhelmed, but at the same time, like I was friends with her for years after that. So not anymore. She became a Trump supporter, and I lost contact with her about a decade ago. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. But I mean, yeah, the whole thing about oversharing, I've started to realize how bad that can be. Speaking of oversharing, the story I'm about to share is an article I wrote in response to something Ginger actually did a while back about high school days, and these are 20 questions. It's a longer article, but I'm gonna read like snippets out of it, basically answering each of the questions that I answered in that article. I won't do too much of it. I'll just give you a rundown of what I said, basically. All right. So the first question about high school, the story asks is, what year did you graduate? And I tell people I graduated in 2000, so they'll know how old I am by this. So that's kind of tying into the oversharing thing. We were the class that claimed the first graduating class of the new millennium. Technically, 2001 had claim to that because that's when the millennium actually starts. Whatever. I'm gonna stick to my story. I was the first of the new millennium. Do I carpool? No, I didn't carpool to school. I had to have my dad drive me or walk a half an hour both ways. Not fun. I didn't have a car in high school either. I was too poor to own one, and I didn't get one until I was like about 20 years old. I didn't go to many of the football games unless it was homecoming. So that's the fourth question. I worked a bunch of internships when I was in school, 14, 15, 16. And then I worked at a water park, tying back into what you were talking about earlier, Brandon. Was I a party animal? No. I was I was the quiet kid who had a couple of friends and kept to them. And also I grew up religious, so I that was just a no-no in my family. Was I considered a jock? Not really, but I liked sports. And I played like in PE and stuff. We did like these competitions, like basketball competitions against each other. I was in the band too. I tried to play the trumpet. I actually have a story about that if you want to go read it. Were you a nerd? Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely a nerd. I had my topics. I loved math, history, geography. I was learning Spanish in high school. Yeah. I was also the top scoring team member on my academic decathlon team 2 years in a row. Um, did I ever get suspended? Yeah, there's a piano teacher who was racist, and I basically called her a little. Well, I said a bunch of stuff to her, but I threw some things and called her a bitch, and she sent me to the principal's office. Oh, and then another time I got suspended. I was heckling this really, really big lineman who played on our football team. He was a offensive lineman, a big dude, like fat. I learned my lesson though. I shouldn't have done that. And he knocked me out after class, and I kind of deserved it. Um, I'd say the worst thing I've ever done. Shoots. I would say it was probably that. I don't remember the fight song, so that's the 12th question. I can't sing the fight song in my high school. And our mascot in high school was the Encina High School Bulldogs. We were cardinal and gold. Um, I would not go back to high school at this point. Like if I could do it all again, I would. No, no way. Um, I'm kind of in contact with some people from high school still, but I've lost contact with most of them since I deleted Facebook. Um, do I know where my high school crush is? I've had a few of them. I know where some of them are, but I don't really keep track of them anymore. My favorite subject was math, I would say, because I was a math major in college too. I didn't finish college, but I got decent amount far. Like I had I took all the calculus classes, so there's that. Um, in high school, I wore a lot of t-shirts and button-ups, jeans, plain black shoes, nothing too crazy. And do I still have my high school ring? I didn't buy it, so I didn't get it, and I didn't care to. It was an expense I didn't need. There we go. That's the story. You can read more on Medium.
Were
And
you?
I know Ben's still here. His camera's off. What were you gonna say, Brandon?
I was just going to ask what you did at the water park. Were you a lifeguard or worked at concessions, or what did you do there?
At the water park, I was in concessions. Yeah, I wasn't a lifeguard. Um, I worked at the snack bar, and what was crazy, right? So when you're at the snack bar, you have a register there. They this was back in 1998. They said you could only be off by less than 50 cents on your till at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
If you were outside of that range 3 times, you'd get a serious talking to. And they just didn't retain me after that summer because even though I was good at math, I think I had like three tills that were like close to $1 off, and they didn't like that.
Mm.
I got
Yeah.
fired once for being $20 short on my till as a cash register, and to this day, I am 110% certain that the person in the register next to me took it from my register and me being the newer person there, they just assumed it was my negligence. And I hated the job so much that I didn't protest.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, there are jobs that like I've been at, and when they start to like, I mean, there's a little bit of tension there, or like I get bored, and then it starts to get like really shitty. It just feels really shitty in that job, and like either I'll start slipping up a little bit. I mean, I try to do my hardest when I'm working, so I don't do it that often. But like if I'm starting to quiet quit a bit, and then they're like, "Oh, well, you're not doing your job as well anymore," or whatever, and it's like, "Fuck you," and like they want to fire me and stuff, and I'm just like, you know what? I quit. I'm not gonna go out on someone else's terms. You know what I mean? So I've left a lot of jobs like that, just like walked off on the spot, and I don't think you should give companies a 2-week notice because they don't give you a 2-week notice
Right.
when they fire you.
Yeah, fuck a
Like,
2-week
what's the point?
notice.
Yeah, what's the point?
I think that having artistic parents, festival goer sorts, I think it's a lot of the reason why I never really meshed well with the 9 to 5 career. I saw my mom as an artist and I saw my dad as a musician, and decided from a very young age that a 9 to 5 was something that would never work for me. And
Same.
lo and behold, once I did finally give that avenue a chance with a cashier job, it was just the most demoralizing, miserable few weeks imaginable. And I've had some enjoyable jobs since then. I don't mind house sitting and babysitting, but yeah, 9 to 5 jobs where there's a manager above me telling me to do this, do that. Nah.
Fuck the institution. Exactly. Let's see. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I think fuck fuck corporate culture, fuck these managers. If you're gonna just like treat us like slaves or like cattle or whatever, like I don't care. Um now we got to get to the big debate. So Ben, you can chime in after Brandon and I argue this, but we are going to fiercely argue. So okay, the thing is, normally when the disclaimer I give before we do this debate is that these opinions aren't necessarily our own, and we're just debating one side or the other. But this week, this specific week, this is actually us coming from the side that we both agree with. So we're going to start here by saying whether or not ketchup belongs on hot dogs. And Brandon's going to go ahead and start his shitty take on this, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, you can't be influencing the audience before we even start.
Oh, okay. I guess
What we should have done is switched, even though these are the opinions that we agree on. We should have intentionally taken the other side.
I guess so, but go ahead. I mean,
all right.
Your opinion is valid, Brandon. I'm sorry for shitting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I grew up with ketchup and mustard, and had and relish and whatnot, but I have never really liked mustard much. I don't really like the taste. I don't mind like just a little bit of it. Like if I get a sandwich and it has mustard on it, I'm not gonna like specifically tell them to leave it off, or I'm not gonna open the sandwich and scrape the mustard off. It's not that bad. But if I'm gonna make my own stuff, I'm not likely gonna put mustard on it, or if I do, I'll put just a little bit. So that applies to hot dogs as well. But I'm not going to eat just a plain hot dog with nothing on it either. So I put ketchup on mine. My dad always put ketchup on a lot of things. He'd put ketchup on his eggs. And now I don't agree with this, but he used ketchup on steak as well. Don't come at me for that. It's not that's not me. But I'm just saying I'm used to ketchup seeing ketchup at least on a lot of different things. And as I've grown older, I eat less and less ketchup. I don't put it on fries. Like anytime I have French fries or anything potato, I use ranch. I love ranch. So I don't use ketchup very often. But if I have hot dogs, I will put ketchup on the hot dog, because I'm not gonna, like I said, I don't want just a dry dog on a bun. So and not liking mustard, what else am I going to do with it? So I put ketchup on my hot dog. And I think that ketchup doesn't belong anywhere specific. You can put it on whatever you want, whatever taste you have, you can use it however you want. And that's just, that's just your own preference. The end.
Oh my god. Okay, I had to sit through that. Uh. Thank goodness that not all of us here hate mustard. Because I'm gonna go ahead and respond to you ready, Grandma, really quick. I love mustard. I can eat mustard on anything. I love all flavors of mustard. Mustard is incredible. And I just don't think that ketchup belongs on hot dogs. And I'll tell you why. Because first of all, even um the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council tell people that they shouldn't be using ketchup on hot dogs past the age of 18, and I am well over 18. Some of us probably never grew up, which I'm not looking at anyone in particular. But there's also that high sugar and like acid content of ketchup that overpowers the smoky, savory spices of a quality beef or a pork hot dog. And if you get a really good hot dog, even sometimes I don't even want to just put anything on it at all. But if I am going to put stuff on it, Chicago, where I lived for a couple of years, has it right. Their style tradition is no ketchup. If you put ketchup on a Chicago style hot dog in front of Chicagoans, you'll get beat up. Instead, the way that they dress the hot dog is they put mustard, relish, tomato wedges, pickles, and celery salt on an all beef hot dog. That's amazing. And it's a big bun too, and that's a big hot dog. So like there's no ketchup in that. It also adds like a wet sugary slime that ruins like the natural casing of the hot dog, and I don't love that. Where am I going with this? No, I mean, yeah, no, you ready? Grandma's right. They will kill you if you put ketchup on your hot dog. I've seen that at a White Sox game. But no onions too. I don't mind onions on a hot dog either. Like you can dress it up and put a bunch of stuff on it that doesn't have to be ketchup or even mustard if you don't want. You just dress it up or eat it plain. I mean, that's valid too. But ketchup, absolutely not. Ketchup masks the flavor of anything you eat. And I'm saying this too, as somebody who grew up as a kid eating a lot of ketchup. I actually did when I was a kid. When I didn't know any better. My parents always put ketchup on my hot dogs, fine, whatever. And I put ketchup on like rice, eggs, like you said, your dad did. Um, I can't think of a single thing I didn't put ketchup on. Chicken. But then I realized, you know what? I didn't have great culinary taste as a kid, and I had no taste buds. And now that I'm adult, I have a much more sophisticated palate. That's it. That's the argument. I mean, hands down. Okay, Ben, you go ahead and chime in here because if I keep talking, I'm gonna stew up more.
My entirely uncontroversial opinion is that hot dog lovers should be ethnically cleansed. I'm thinking forced labor, put into camps, at a very minimum abolished, so that they need to live their lives in fear. But yes, hot dog lovers are yeah, they're not something that we should be condoning as people, I don't think. There are superior foods in almost any stadium or places that hot dogs are served. You can get something that's called a burger that's not disgusting and not made from pig buttholes or whatever the hell hot dogs are made from. Um, and yeah, I think that the tyrants of history have gotten their genocide approach wrong, and really we need to base these things much more off of our tastes and our thoughts on hot dogs and things like that.
I love that. That's amazing. I don't eat hot dogs that much, so I mean, when I do, it's just like what I was saying earlier. Like No ketchup, but like, yeah, I could kind of get on board with what Ben's saying here.
Ethnic cleansing for the hot dog lovers.
Yes.
Glad I got you on board. Yes.
Mhm.
How about
Yeah,
you? Are you on board?
I would be fine if I never ate a hot dog the rest of my life.
I feel like we're doing Subway takes right now. That's great. You put in the card in front of your hand, like, so what's your take? Anyone who
Right.
eats hot dogs should be ethnically cleansed. 100% disagree, but go ahead. And then, like,
I love those Subway takes. That cracks me up.
yeah, I love him too. He's so amazing.
I think he might be like 100% agree. Go on.
Yeah, I've heard him say 100% disagree too. There was this guy who was talking about mixed race. Oh yeah. He was saying mixed race people. I forget what he said about, but he had a take on mixed race people, and the guy disagreed. But then he said, "Hear me out," and then he changed his mind. Yeah. Now we're to the grab bag questions because we have some really good ones that came in this week, and all three of us can answer these. So I'm gonna go ahead. Your wieners. Okay. So actually, somebody sent in a series of 5 questions that they wanted us to answer this week, not realizing that maybe also Ben was going to be here, but we're going to do this, and I guess we could all answer what we think the answer is going to be. But the first question is, who do you think the biggest diva is on camera right now?
Who's first?
I mean, you can go first.
Oh, okay. Oh, I guess it depends on your definition of diva. Diva. Oh, that's a kind of a hard one, actually.
I want to say that Brandon, you're more of the diva, but that isn't necessarily to say that you're more dramatic. I think that
that's kind of what I was thinking of. I was like, drama queen.
Yeah,
and diva are two different things. So diva, I would go with me.
Yeah,
I would
think you fall more in line with the image that people have of diva, but I think that Sturge, you also have some diva qualities.
Yeah, for sure. And you're almost the anti-diva. You're like so low key, so relaxed, so cool.
Anti-diva.
You're like
anti-diva.
It's like there's a black hole, and then you're like, wait, no. There's matter and antimatter. Yeah, you're almost like the black hole.
I was gonna say black hole may not be the right term to use in this particular podcast.
This is a bunghole only podcast.
Bunghole. We only appreciate Jewish bungholes. I'm kidding. That was. All right, next question. If we were forced to start a scam, what would our grift be?
Start a religion. That would be a lot of fun.
Tuesdays
with scam.
We could do Tuesdays with two guys church.
Yeah, a cult following.
Yeah, we got to get a cult following.
L. Ron Hubbard had the right idea. Like, Scientology is a fun religion. It's a stupid religion, but man, he had a mission to have a good time, and that's a fun religion. I don't know what else there is to say about it. Lord Xenu, Soul Catcher, 4 trillion years ago. There's something.
I don't know a whole lot about the Scientology religion. I've never really looked it up.
It's a fun one.
I've seen the crazy people that come from it, and that's enough for me. I'm like, all right.
Okay, so if our podcast got turned into a movie, right? Who are we? Who's playing us? And then we could do one for.
Brandon is Timothy Chalamet, and
I was going to say that actually.
Pedro Pascal.
Oh, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because last night I watched a Timothy Chalamet movie. For the first time, I watched Beautiful Boy.
Oh yeah,
that was a really good one.
Chalamet's done a bunch of good movies, although I don't like his take on opera and ballet.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that comment, and he's I don't know. I mean, I admit that he is a good actor. He's had some really versatile roles, like Beautiful Boy, and when he played Wonka, and then in Dune. Those are very different roles, and I think he played them all well. So I think he is. He has a lot of versatility. He's a good actor. But
I have one for Ben. I have an actor for Ben. Rami Malek.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Rami's my guy.
Yeah,
I've also heard Alex Wolf.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Alex Wolf. I'll have to look.
You gotta look that one up, don't you?
I don't think I know who that is. Oh yeah.
Oh, I see it. I was just thinking, I was like, what does he look like again? I'm like trying to remember. Like yeah. And he's around your age, so that's perfect. Okay, so each one of us, let's erase one pop culture event from history so we never have to hear about it again. And I don't know why they asked this, but I think they know what I was going to say. So go ahead. Take out one pop culture event, so you don't have to hear about it ever again.
6,
7. Oh gosh.
Oh, 6, 7, yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of one that I've just. I should have thought about this earlier. Or right now, nothing is coming to mind. But
I've got one. That I definitely want to put out there.
I know I've. Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it's been a while that. I don't know. Nothing current. I can't think of anything right now that I'm just tired of hearing about.
One could also argue that Harambe is where this whole mess started.
Oh yeah, dicks out for Harambe, yeah. I'm going to tell you the one that I'm really, really tired of hearing about at this point is Taylor and Travis's wedding. I do not want to hear any more about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I don't want to hear their names again this season, and I know that's going to be impossible because I'm a sports fan, and the NFL is coming up, and she's probably going to be at some games. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it.
I watched them play on Sunday, but I mean, it didn't really mean anything, and they didn't put it in there.
Well, it's in the that's preseason still.
Yeah, I know that's why. That's why I said it didn't really mean anything, and they didn't put in their stars, so it did. I wasn't really paying much attention to it.
Exactly. Here's the last question they gave me. So what is a hidden talent each one of us has that people wouldn't expect? Something you haven't shown people yet, Brandon, because they know you can cook, they know you can sing, they know you can play music. I mean, those aren't really secret.
Yeah. A talent that I haven't seen. I'm good at pickleball and tennis. I mean, I'm okay at tennis. I'm good at pickleball.
That's a talent. Okay. How about you, Ben?
I did post the one video a while back of my calisthenics routine. I would say that that's probably one of my more anomalous talents.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember that's been a little while, but I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I can do 20 muscle ups, which is where you can lift yourself vertically above the pull-up bar.
Historically,
I'm lucky if I could actually do one pull-up.
Historically, I've been pretty open about stuff that I can do. Although I don't think most people know that I can flare my nose up on command.
I cannot do that.
I can move one of my ears.
Oh, you can? That's cool.
A little bit.
Oh, look what Ben just did. Oh, damn, that's cool. That's cool as fuck. Nice.
I only do that
sometimes. See it.
I can only do that sometimes, but yeah, I have to put it in place to begin with, but then I just
almost like a suction cup.
A continuous inhale, and it stays like that.
That's so cool.
I've never tried that. I'm not sure.
You ready, Grandma? You ready? Grandma says he can fart the ABCs. And what I was actually going to say about that is he didn't complete it because he shat on the letter S. And if you don't understand that reference, that's actually a reference to a Family Guy episode that Peter said that, you know, when he said, like, I can fart the ABCs, but I quit on S because I shit myself. Yeah. I just watched that episode too. It was season 9. Um, so it was like a while ago, like 2000. What would that have been? Like 2011, maybe? No. That was further back. Probably like 2007, 2008. I don't know. I know it was canceled for a while, so. Um, the hardest letter. That's the hardest letter. Z is risky as well. I would assume Q would be the hardest one. D's the hardest. D. Oh my God. Stop it, Mike. My boyfriend's back here saying D is the hardest one, and I got why he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, now that we got through that was the questions that I got in the thing today. Next week we're gonna have another guest, and I know Ben's off camera right now. He'll be back soon, but we're
I'm
gonna
still
wrap
here.
up. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up now. It's a little over the hour.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and plug anything that we have coming up and that you want to let people know about, and then we can do our famous outro.
So
Do you want me to start, or do you want to go
Ben?
first, Brent?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Ben.
Go first. Yeah.
I've got a few pieces I've been working on. One about craft of writing, another couple entertainment reviews. Yeah, I've got a few more drafts than I typically do that I'm moving back and forth between. Sometimes I'm very focused on one specific project, and other times my efforts are pretty splintered, and the past week has been like that. But looking forward to also putting together a couple memoirs on this festival I just went to, if I can. It would be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
Nice. How about you, Ben? I mean, Brandon. I went back to Ben. Tell us more, Ben.
I might be on with Ben later this week. Is that right, Ben? Are we still?
That is the plan.
Okay. On
Nice.
Escapist Delights later this week, we'll be talking shows and movies, and I've got a list of them, so I'm ready for it. I've got an article coming out tomorrow, as I usually do, and I'm gonna try to think of something to cook or bake on video later, maybe Friday, or
just
I
don't
don't
use
know.
cake mix. Don't use cake mix to make cookies again. I mean, that looked. I mean, I'm not gonna say it looked terrible because it didn't look that terrible, but like that concept just made me want to barf.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, as I said on the video, somebody gave me a cake mix, and I usually don't use cake mixes, but my mom always used to make these cake mix cookies, and they were so good, chocolatey and
I might give them
soft.
I might give them a chance.
But yeah, they were good.
Okay. Let's see what's going on with me this week. No karaoke this week. We were gonna do it, but Fiona's in Chicago. Let's see. Nothing much else going on this week. I think the only other thing I have planned later this week is to go on with Stefan, who I had to reschedule because I was still trying to get my schedule normal. So me and Stefan Pasek and I are gonna go live on Sunday for an hour. It was the same time we were supposed to go on last week at 6. I think 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern. Yeah, that's about it. And I'm working on some pieces right now. I'm gonna share a little bit more of my childhood with everyone and have fun with it. Yeah, that's about it. And yeah, I'm gonna warn him. We gotta warn Fiona about the hot dog situation in Chicago. I already did. I actually sent her some links and told her not to do it because she doesn't want to get jumped. All right. And I recommended great deep dish pizza places and Italian beef places to her. All right, let's do our. Oh, nice. Let's do our outro. I like that hat. Let's do our outro. Brandon. Yeah, Brandon.
So thanks for coming in, everybody. We should be back here next Tuesday, same time.
Yeah, we will.
And my name's Brandon Elrich. You can find me on Humor and Hummus or Elrich Unraveling for fiction and poetry. And
I'm the
Sturge?
I sit down and I just write whatever the fuck I want. I think
Yeah.
I'm good.
I am Ben over here, and I write the Escapist Delights publication, which is a pretty loose smattering of cultural topics and politics that not too dissimilar to what you're doing with just whatever the hell I want to write when I want to write it, but try to have some general umbrella I can stick things under if I can manage.
Nice. And
All
this
right.
this was. Oh, go
This
ahead.
is another episode Tuesdays with two
gays. Say
and a straight guy.
And one straight.
Yeah.
We did it.
All right. See you all
Good talking to
later.
you guys.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks.